Hey y'all, hope everyone is having an awesome week. Christina Wilson here with Smith Spencer Real Estate in Charleston, South Carolina. Forgot to get a video out last week, my bad, we all make mistakes. But the week prior we were talking about months of inventory. So kind of working off of that, this week I wanted to connect with you guys on why inventory is so low and some of the reasons for that. So that's what we're going to chat about here today. So one is high demand. So millennials are entering their prime home buying ages, and that's a large part of our population. So it's simple supply and demand. A lot of people looking for homes, and the inventory is low just because of the amount of people that are in certain demographics. Okay, so number one, high demand. Number two, limited new construction numbers. So post the 2008 slowdown, we essentially had over a decade of a deficit of new homes that were being constructed, which we're in the game of playing catch up today, and it's going to take a while before we get caught up. So along with that, during COVID, we saw a lot of supply chain disruptions that are still valid today, and also there are a lot of labor shortages in the construction industry. So while we're trying to catch up, a few other things have sort of piled on that have made it a little harder to continue building new properties. All right, so we've got high demand, limited new construction. Third on the list is investors. So I'm sure you've noticed everyone thinks they're an investor these days. But we do have these investors, what we call institutional buyers, and these are larger, more corporate companies that are going into areas and buying up, in a lot of areas, what would be the first-time home buyer property, okay? And they are doing things like putting this on Airbnb, Vrbo, so they're creating short-term rentals, they're doing executive rentals, or they're long-term renting them. No matter what it is, a lot of those properties that these institutional buyers are purchasing up could have been used for a first-time home buyer. And so that's creating inventory issues as well. So we've got high demand, limited new construction, investors. Also, people are staying in homes longer than they ever previously had. So previously, what we would see is that people would live in a home for anywhere from 3 to 5 years. And then after that, they would do what we call moving up. And so I would, sell my starter home, move into a bigger home in the next moving up neighborhood, which would then make my starter home available for that next first-time home buyer, call it. Well, now what people are doing is we're seeing them stay in homes longer, and instead of moving up, which is what we call it, they are renovating and adding on so that they don't have to move their actual location. This could come down to a lot of factors. Maybe they really like the convenience of where they are. Some people don't want to move out to the suburbs once they have kids and all of those types of things. But people are just staying in homes longer, which is also causing an inventory shortage. So that could kind of work for areas all across the country. And then for some Charleston specific reasons why inventory is low. So we've had a lot of regional growth. So not only were we seeing a lot of growth in regards to population pre-COVID, but then during COVID, once a lot of people were able to work remotely, we had an even bigger influx of people moving to the area. So we live in a desirable location here. I don't think I need to spell out the reasons why that is. And so a lot of people are moving here. Up next, we've got land availability. So look at a map of Charleston. We're surrounded by water. There's only so many places we can go. So more and more people coming in, the land isn't expanding because we can't live in the ocean. And so that's also a part of why inventory is so low. And then lastly, if you are downtown, there are some preservation efforts that the city will require, which makes it harder for you to build new downtown or make renovations, do additions, all of those kinds of things. So there's just a lot more hurdles and hoops and jumps you got to get through if you're looking downtown, which makes it a little more tricky. So why is inventory such an issue? So back to the top, high demand, limited new construction, investors, longer home ownership time, regional growth, land availability, and preservation efforts. So I hope that's helpful. If you have any other questions regarding the market in Charleston, please connect with me. Drop some comments below in regards to why you believe that the inventory levels are so low. And you know how to reach me if you need my help with anything. Hope you'll have an awesome week.